Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Sheila Beela, and I'm coming to you with a review of Tyler Perry's Sister, the season finale, season 4, episode 22. The episode picks up where it left off on last Wednesday. So the senator's wife is sitting there in her robe with flowers on it, that's see-through, asking Zach or blackmailing Zach into sleeping with her. And Zach is like, no. And she's saying, am I that disgusting that you don't want to sleep with me? And he was like, you know what? Believe it or not, I'm in love, and I'm not doing it. And she said, oh, yeah, you're young. And she was like, he said, well, you old, And then she goes on to say, I was in love once, but I've been married and my husband is not treating me right. And so now I am in a hotel room trying to get you to sleep with me. And he was just like, okay, well, I'm sorry you're going through that, but I am not doing it. And she's like, well, if you don't do it, then I am going to talk to the SEC and you are going to jail. And he was just like, well, you know what? It's fine. Lady, ma'am. And she was like, don't call me ma'am. He was like, well, you got me over here in the middle of the day. I mean, yeah, you ma'am. You old lady with the robe on, with the flowers, And so she's just sitting there and she's really trying to prove her point as to why he should sleep with her. And he's like, look, I done been to jail, I done been there, done that. It ain't too many things that I ain't seen, I ain't saw. They wear them same robes in jail. And she's just like, well, you're gonna do it. And then he was just like, okay, so what is it? If I sleep with you this one time, what is it in you that will make me that will make you stop coming back? And then she's like, oh, so you're thinking about it. He was just like, man, I ain't thinking about it. I just don't want to. I don't want, this is not what I want to do. And then he told her to quit drinking so much. I told y'all she was sitting over there with that yak, telling her to quit drinking so much. And she just like, well, if you don't do this, then, it is what it is. I'm going to call the SEC. And he's just like, you know what? You do what you got to do. I'm not doing it. And he said, I'm about to leave. And she said, well, I'm going to be here for a few more hours. He said, you can sit here for hours and hours, days after days. I ain't coming back. But I ad-lib. So she had something in her hand, a card or something, and she asked him to take the card. He was like, man, I ain't taking that card. She was like, take the card because you're going to need it. So he ended up taking the card, and he told her, you know what? Your robe and your hot cooch and your cognac on the side, y'all can sit here and you can be in here sad about your husband. I'm about to leave and I'm not sleeping with you. And bye. Anyway, so Fatima, she's all in her feelings. She's all frantic because she really doesn't know what's really going on with Zach. And then she had that bad night, Karen popping up at the house. So she kind of all over the place. You know what I'm saying? She can't even give Andy her files right. So Andy asking her about the files, and she talking about, oh, I must have left them at home and my laptop and all this stuff. And Andy is asking her what's going on. And, she really doesn't give too much, but she gives a little bit. And Andy brings up Zach. She was like, nah, it ain't even really Zach like that. It's just a lot going on. Then she sits down and they begin to talk. And they bring up Hayden. And that's when Andy is like, oh, I heard. And she said, oh, you did? You heard? Fatima is like, so you heard? She was like, yeah, I heard, but I don't really know all the details, And so she was just like, yeah. She said, but that'll get taken care of. I don't even really want to dwell on that too much. But what I do want you to do is talk to your girl Karen, because she can't be just popping up at the house like that. Period. And so that's when Andy is just like, yeah, I talked to her. Oh, so you talked to her about that? Yeah, I talked to her about that. She was feeling kind of messed up. She hates she ever even went over there to, talk to her, especially, Zach got this baby. Dang, she told you about that too. And then she started laughing. Ha 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 ha. And here you go. Andy is like, so, I mean, what's funny? It is kind of funny. Zach, he's handsome, cute, lovable, adorable. He got good stuff that white women in silk robes want him. So, I can see why. He got all these babies running around here, and he got Karen coming up over there in the middle of the night. I can see and I can understand why. But you know what? He still ain't wrapped too tight. It's like he just make dumb moves. And then, Andy is just like, yeah, yeah. So then Fatima starts to talk about his mom and talk about Zach's mom, saying, his mom was kind of mean on him, hard on him, and she really didn't treat him too good. And Fatima is just like, he never really had a woman like me that can, kind of make him great. And Andy over there looking like, girl, please, child. He had Karen. Karen was paying all the bills, laying up under him. He kept cheating on her, gave her STDs and all that stuff. She was good to him too till she got tired. And then she became this bitter woman, but she still want him back, because you know how it is. I guess it is what it is. And so then Andy begins to talk about this whole car that she had back in college. It was a beautiful car, and everybody was telling her that it's a fixer-upper. And she said she fixed it and she put a lot of money into it, but every time she would get it on the highway, it would break down on her. And it was just kind of like, I guess, a parallel to Zach, because she was talking about Zach was all good looking and yummy and all this other stuff. But he does these dumb things to kind of let her down. But, to kind of let her down, I guess. But Fatima was just like, well, you know what? I believe in Zach. Zach is a good guy. And then Andy is just like, yeah, he is a good guy. I can agree with you. He's a good guy. And she just said she gonna stick beside him. Fatima's like, that's my man. I'm gonna stick beside him. I know his potential. I know he, rough around the edges, but he'll be all right. We'll make it through, And she said that she still has to go get her laptop. Andy tells her, go ahead and get your laptop because we got work to do. So she ends up leaving. All right, so Sabrina is over at the juice bar. She is juicing the green juice. Bayo comes in and it's a surprise. I'm here. Like, how did you know I was here? No, it was just a coincidence. It's just what it is. Child, Bayo, are you stalking Sabrina? Are you a stalker? Let me know. Anyway, I'm not going to go there. So they end up talking and Bayo apologizes over and over again. Let me tell you, it's every episode of Tyler Perry's Sister. Somebody is saying that they sorry. Somebody's sorry about something. Anyway, and I noticed in just about all of Tyler Perry's shows, somebody is saying that they sorry. Have y'all noticed that? Do y'all watch any of his shows? If you watch them, there is a line in all of his shows and they say, I'm sorry. Anyway, back to Sisters. So he's saying he's sorry and he didn't mean to, keep talking about Danny, but she is very beautiful. Then he pulls out these pictures of a bunch of women from the New Neptune tribe and and said that the girls look like her. And Sabrina talking about, oh yeah, they do. I can see it. Girl, you don't see that. They don't look like her. But anyway, Sabrina sees it. And so he was like, yeah, that's the reason why I kept looking at her saying that she's lovely. Bayo, if you don't give yourself a slap in the face, how in the world you gonna keep talking about somebody is lovely just because they look like the Neptune tribe down there at the Zimbabwe, wherever you from? That don't even make sense. Anyway, but Sabrina, oh yeah, yeah, I can see it. Can you please send me that text in the text? And he was like, oh, I sure can. So he sends it to Sabrina. Sabrina sends it to Danny. And Bayo is still trying to, meet up with Sabrina, call Sabrina, talk to Sabrina. And Sabrina is just like, you know what, we'll talk about it later. We'll talk later. So they end up dispersing. I guess he get his green juice and he goes on about his business. Meanwhile, Danny ends up calling Sabrina on the phone and saying, who is all these women? Who are these women you got on my phone? She said, girl, that's Bayo from the country, Neptune. And, he said they look like you. Keep looking. She's like, girl, don't let one of these women in this picture look like me. Keep looking. I didn't look. The woman don't look like me. Is that what he told you? Is that the reason? Is that the excuse that he gave you for him keep talking about Danny all night? Here goes Sabrina. Yeah, that's what he said. Child, Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye. So they get out the phone. All right. So Danny back at her job. Logan, he comes in and he said he got the FBI boys on the way because they are going to do an investigation on Sabrina. And then Logan asks Danny, did you tell Sabrina what I said? And then she said, not so much, And so Danny is like, so that's what you're doing? You really going to be investing my friend? Like, you really think that we going to be cool after you investigate my friend? My friend is a good girl. Like, she don't do that. She just called me and told me that I look like a whole bunch of girls from the New Neptune tribe. And that's why Bio kept telling me I look good. Would you really think that this is the type of girl that'll rob a bank? But Logan, I really don't know her like that. It's the investigation. I got to do my job. Anyway, so Danny kind of snap on him. You need to get away from me with that. Don't come at me like that. We are not on the same page. We ain't cool no more. You trying to do my friend like this. You and your FBI friends can go ahead and leave my place and my presence. And Logan said, okay, well, do we still got a date tonight? Nigga, no. Oh, no, I don't like saying that. But boy, no. Go on about your business. Anyway. So, oh yeah. He did bring up that whole date situation. I'm like, how you gonna bring up a date situation that y'all had when you left before the date even got started? Anyway, that's Logan. So Fatima, I think she's actually was about to leave, and then she had seen Gary up there asking to talk to Hayden, and so Fatima kind of turns back and she goes to Gary. Yeah, that is Gary. That's his shoulder and his chin, a little bit of his ear. But anyway, so she asks him, like, are you here to see Andy? And he's like, I don't want to see that witch with the B in the front. And she was like, oh, well, tell me how you really feel. So what you here for? I'm here to see my lawyer. Who your lawyer? He didn't really get into all that. Hayden the lawyer. So she was just like, oh. And Fatima was looking at him like, well, I will punch you in the face right now talking about my friend like that. But anyway, we in front of these people and I'm not going to do it. So she just kind of walks off and she gone in there and she tells Andy, like, Gary here. And here Andy's talking about, girl, if he here, tell him I don't want to see him. She said, girl, he ain't even here for you. He here for Hayden. Now he over there going over there to go see Hayden. And she like, really? Yeah, this finna be some whole mess. They like, ooh, I can't wait till he gone. But, she had to go ahead and go get her laptop. And then she said she was going to come back. All right, so Hayden is sitting in there with Gary. Gary up here mad because he's saying that how can he get his apartment back? And Hayden is like, is it in your name? She was like, no. He said no. And so he was just like, man, he said, but you can. Hayden said, well, you can sue him. Sue Andy. And Gary is just like, you know what? You smart. That's why I'm glad you my lawyer. I am going to sue her. And Hayden said you can sue her for pain and suffering. I'm like, can somebody slap him in the face? Matter of fact, he already got the bruises on there. Can we get one more bruise up under his chin? Because that don't even make no sense. How you gonna sue Andy for pain and suffering when you the one that was a peeping Tom? You the one that deliberately moved all of her stuff out of her apartment, really dang near robbed her and put her stuff somewhere else, and you bruised her with all this stuff you done did to Andy. So you don't think that Andy got a case against you, Gary? And then he brought up the fact, don't you think that's a conflict of interest? And Hayden is like, don't you worry about that. And he just so delighted to take the case. He talking about he'll take all the particulars. You just let me handle this. And you just sit over there while, they had brought up the whole Robin thing. That's when Gary was like, oh yeah, that's the one you thought that was gay, but he ain't gay, but he over there. I'm looking through my telescope while he's sleeping with my girl, Andy. Anyway, child, they... Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Y'all can point to which one is which, the dumber or the Tweedledee or the dumber dumb. Anyway, child, bye. So, mind you, when Zach was leaving the hotel room, he called Jake on the phone and told Jake to meet him at his apartment, at his house. So, Zach is at his house. Ring, 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 ring. That's the doorbell. It's Jake. Zach like, how in the world did you get here so fast, Jake? Jake like, you told me you needed me, so I flew on over here. This nigga got a cape. Anyway, so he flies on over there, and he's just like, so what's going on? I'm like, Zach, don't tell him. He tells him that the woman, oh, can I trust you? Jake is like, yeah, so I can really trust you. Look at me in my eyes. Can I trust you? Here goes Jake. Yes, you can trust me. Child, you can't trust him. But anyway, go on, tell him all your business, Zach. So Zach gets to telling him about the woman, the senator's wife, and how she blackmailing him about this whole stock tip. And he's like, dang, he want him. And then he says that she wants him to sleep with her. And Zach is like, I didn't do it. I couldn't do it. And Jake is like, so do you think that she would want to still sleep with you after she said that she would only do it one time? And that's when Zach is like, that's what I'm talking about, because he's talking about his stuff so good, it keep him coming back. And so that's when Jake was like, well, just don't even do it good. He said, I can't not do sex good. That's all I know how to do is good sex. Child, I guess. Anyway, so they're still talking about the whole thing, and he asks, this is when Zach is like, well, do you think I'm ready for the SEC? And he was like, well, yeah, you are ready, but if she gets on the stand, that could blow your whole case. And that's when he was like, dang. And they sitting over there talking back and forth about what they should do about the whole sleeping with him thing. And Fatima comes in and Zach and Jake are like, dang, but did y'all catch how excited Jake, dang, they said the other words, but and I'm just like, yeah, dog, you act like you just got in trouble, Jake. Anyway, so that's when Fatima was like, oh, sleep with who? So did you do it? He was like, no, I didn't do it. I'm not doing it. And, they both, Zake over here stuttering, and he ended up saying, well, I'll leave y'all to where y'all can talk or whatever. And so that's when, Jake gone on at the door. And Fatima is like, I can't believe you told him. He was like, who else am I supposed to tell? She said, you supposed to tell me. He said, well, what you gonna do about it, Fatima? What you gonna do? You gonna wrap up the whole SEC and you gonna put them in a van and spin them around and put them on top of the cars naked? What you gonna do, Fatima? And she was just like, well, god dog, we could have figured something out, I don't know. Well, you need to make up your mind, Zach. What you gonna do? You gonna sleep with her? I think you should sleep with her. He like, what? And then also Fatima asked, so if you sleep with her once, what makes you think that's gonna be the end of it? He was like, well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. And then Fatima kind of just leaves him and like, well, you need to make a decision. What you gonna do? You gonna have to figure it out. And she kind of walks on up out of there. Oh, I ain't even turned the thing. This all them talking. You gonna sleep with her? No, don't sleep with her. Anyway. All right. So back at the Karen hair mastery, Karen is up. Pam, she cracking jokes, you know what I'm saying, being the life of the party, everybody laughing. And Karen is like, girl, you lying. Here go Pam. Girl, I ain't lying. That's the truth. Anyway, Karen combing through the girl hair. I guess she did a comb, and she said, you done. Anyway, Pam talking about, girl, your hair is laid. That hair was not laid. She didn't even get the back down all the way. But anyway, so Pam is telling Karen to drink water, right? And Pam is telling Karen, you've been on your feet all day. Are you sure you need to be up like this? Because you kind of looking weird. And so Karen is just like, I'm okay. And then she starts smelling perm. She said, do you smell perm? And she said, girl, yeah, you just did a press and set and comb and curl and perm and pixie cut or whatever else you done did. And so she just like, but do you smell that? Do you feel that? Then she starts saying she felt dizzy. And Pam is like, well, you might, you need to sit down. You need to sit down or whatever. And so she's just like, well, yeah, girl, I do. I just feel weird. I'm just gonna go to the car. She was like, well, you need to, take a break. You've been on your feet all day. You do need to go to the car, do something. And then Pam looks at her. She was like, girl, she picks up the little cape that that the barbers, that she just took off the lady. And she said, you're bleeding. And so I kind of figured that Tyler may write a miscarriage in this. I kind of hope he don't. I hope it's just kind, because I really want her to see. I really want her to have a baby. I just think it'll be cute. I think she should keep her with the baby storyline. Anyway, I think it'll just bring a different little touch to it. Her everyday journey with a new baby, not knowing who the baby daddy is, and stuff like that. I just think it'll be interesting. But if she don't have a baby, it'll get her time to, I guess, regroup and find her another man that really want her. Well, and she really want them too, vice versa. Anyway, so all right, so now you have Preston and you have Danny. And Preston comes to the airport because he's taking a flight out of Atlanta. He is leaving for good. And Danny is just like, so you're leaving? And he's just like, yeah, I felt like if I would have called you and you wouldn't have answered the phone, and I would have already been gone. And he said he wanted to see her face to face, to tell her face to face that he was leaving. And I think he said that he was hoping that she would say something to make him stay. But Danny's so tough. And it's crazy because I'm like, Danny, you really this tough? You not gonna say nothing to make this man stay? He sitting up every time about he love you, and he said he tried, but you still gonna, and he said he felt like he didn't do nothing wrong. And he said, he wanted Danny to tell him what he did wrong so he can make it better. He want to make it right. Because he don't want to leave. He don't want to leave Danny. But Danny said, I already tried to tell you. But anyway, so, I don't know. It was kind of sad to see them in this situation because I really did want them to work out. But Danny didn't really, she seemed like she was like kind of crying, trying to hold back her tears. And Preston seemed like he was holding back his tears. But I believe if Danny would have just said, wait, don't go, Preston would have said, I ain't gonna leave. But it didn't happen that way. So he went on ahead and got on the plane. So I guess he know when to walk away. Danny, can you go run after him so y'all can be together? Because I don't want Preston to leave. All right. So now you have Zach. He went back over to the senator's wife's house, right? Well, to the apartment. What is this thing? The hotel room. And she's still in this bed. I guess she didn't need to go to the store with her. She just still sat in this bed. But anyway, with the Saint, I guess she knew Zach was going to be back. But he came back, and after Fatima told him to do what he needed to do, he was trying to get drunk and talking about fixing a glass of cognac. Child, he had the whole bottle. And why is she telling him, talking about take off your clothes? I was just like, you don't run him. Talking about take off your clothes. Ugh. That's why he had to keep drinking, because he just keep looking at her like, this is not right. He was like, he said, you know what? I just can't do it. I cannot do it. And she just like, well, you going to go to jail? He was like, I don't care. So he was about to walk out. He opened up the door, and voila, Fatima, she's standing in the door with her green and her blue on. So she's like, did you do it? He was like, no, I didn't do it. I ain't about to do it. And then she was like, yes, you is. So she walks in, and Zach walks behind him. And Zach like, man, Fatima, I tried, man. I can't get into this. Look, she got on the silk robe with flowers on it. I just can't do it. So Fatima came in and she sat down. And the woman had the audacity to say, I don't do threesomes. Child, you better get what you can get. Fatima looked at her like, girl, I don't want you. This is my man. And I'm just trying to look out for the best interest of my man. And you sitting over here looking like you need some help getting my man aroused. Because look, you wish you was me, but you not me. and you not gonna never beat me. You not gonna never look this good. And she like, dang, don't rub it. She like, dang, don't rub it in. You ain't gotta make me feel bad. Oh, why was they doing this woman like this? That's sad. I think that would play on my ego. I know this is a role and everything. I'm playing a role. But if somebody is constantly calling me an old lady and a ma'am and telling me I'm not going to ever look this good, that'll kind of play on my that'll play on my personal insecurities. Like, I know I'm playing a role, but that'll kind of hit me different once I'm out of that role. But anyway, child, that was a whole mess. So Fatima talking about, do I need to get you up so you can sleep with this woman or whatever? And then Zach is like, man, I really don't want to do this. And so that's when Fatima starts to talk to her and tell her that she is pretty much despicable, and I can't believe you're trying to blackmail him into sleeping with you. And she was just like, and you're the senator's wife, right? And so Fatima just flipped it. Like, I can snitch on you. Like, I can make a conference and get on a podium and tell everybody that you trying to blackmail this man into sleeping with you, and you still married. And so she started to talk about her husband and her problems with her husband. And Fatima said, that ain't my problem. You need to work it out with your man. You're not going to work that out with my man. You need to work it out with your own man. And so she was like, try him again. And I don't want to hear this conversation no more. I don't even want to come over. I don't even want to see you no more. So I'm hoping this is the end of this whole senator situation. But the only thing I wish that he didn't tell Jake, because had he would have came to Fatima in the first place, they could have went ahead and did this whole little scenario, and this would have been done, and he still could have went before the SEC and did what he had to do without her, because Fatima done threatened her. Fatima done blackmailed her, and Fatima called this girl Karen. So is her name really Karen, or is she acting like a Karen, or is she thinking about Karen, Zach Karen? I don't know. So is her name Karen? But anyway, this whole situation is rectified. And then she gonna say, so you're not gonna tell, are you? And then Fatima was like, so you're not gonna do what you're gonna do, are you? See, that's what I'm saying. Ride or die. Come on. It is what it is. Alright, so this is the ending of the episode. And Maurice and Sabrina. Y'all know I probably been getting these names all mixed up. Please forgive me, because I know somebody had commented, girl, you got all these names. We don't know who you talking about. But please forgive me if I am doing it, because I do it. And I be calling him, her, him. Please forgive me. Anyway, so this is the last scene of the episode. And, Sabrina and Maurice, they're doing their banter back and forth. And Sabrina brings up the fact that Maurice is in Q's house, and because he got there late. But I thought Maurice said he was working half a day. So I'm just like, what took you so long to get there when she's saying you clearly got there late? But anyway, so she was just like, Sabrina's like, I know you're not sleeping with him. And, Maurice trying to make it seem like he doing something when he not. And he just like, well, I got it under control. I'm not doing anything like that, And Sabrina's like, I just hate that he's in your house. He was like, shoot, I hate it too. I don't want him there either. But, he said he got it taken care of. And so then they bring up the whole bio situation. And she was just saying about the whole date that he kept talking about Danny all night, how lovely she is. And Maurice called her yuck mouth. I said, you did not have to call Danny yuck mouth. That girl got some beautiful teeth. Anyway, and so Sabrina was just like, well, yeah, my friend is lovely. You want a phone number? You can call her. And that's when Maurice was like, dang, Zimbabwe acting like that. And so then Sabrina brings up Calvin. And so Maurice is like, oh, so you bringing up Calvin now just because your old bio prince man, it ain't working out or whatever. And she was just like, well, I just thought about him, see what he's doing. And so Maurice is like, so he's your fall guy. All right. So he what they call it? What is the fall guy? The backup plan or whatever. And so he was just like, well, they didn't really get into it a lot. as they were talking, because Maurice kept messing with her, and then Logan comes in and he says that Sabrina and Maurice are under arrest because of conspiracy to, I guess, bank robbery, conspiracy to bank robbing. And I was just like, yeah, dog, they did it for real, huh? And so Sabrina is just like, no, like, I know you. Like, why are you doing this, Logan? And Maurice is like, dang, I ain't did nothing. Get these handcuffs on me. I didn't do anything. They're pretty much trying to plead their case. And Maurice is like, you know him, Sabrina? And they're like, yeah, that's Danny friend or whatever. And so it was just, I don't know. I just don't think that's just crazy to me, because if he listened to that recording, the context was all over the place. It was out of context. So this is Tyler Perry's Sisters. The season finale is gonna come back on in October. I really thought that I thought it was gonna be a little bit more explosive than what it was. I mean, I guess it was okay. I don't know. It was okay. It was okay. It was cool. It was entertaining. But what do y'all think that's going to happen in October? So, do you think that Karen has had a miscarriage, or she's threatening one? Do you think that Sabrina's going to stay with Bio, or is she going to go back with Calvin? Do you think that Andy is done with Gary? Do you think that Preston and Danny, they're going to try to work it out? What else? And this whole investigation thing, do you think this is going to go somewhere? Do you think that they're going to actually may do jail time, or is Q going to confess? He don't seem like he is, but anyway. But this is Sheila Beasley. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe. This is Tyler Perry's Sisters. Like I said, I know I forgot a lot of things, charges to my head and my heart. Oh, and do you think that this is it for the whole senator's wife situation? But anyway, charges to my head and my heart. Remember, Jesus loves you, and y'all have a great day, and bye.